Alright, so what's going on YouTube? So today I'll be installing new mufflers to my Porsche 911 C4S. Porsche Sport exhaust, it came with the car. It's the one that is activated by a valve. There's two modes to it. One is a quiet mode and a loud mode. The tips are pretty dirty right now. I'm thinking about cleaning them out, so don't worry about that. Those tips are very expensive, so you can't just simply replace them. They're like $500 a set. Back to the topic. So I don't like the fact that you have to turn it on to make it loud. I don't really care about noise around here. Then my bike is pretty loud, so I'm gonna switch to that exhaust. The exhaust that I'm replacing it with is an agency power muffler. It doesn't have the valve system. It's just always loud. I mean, it's not loud. It's not too loud because some people run mufflerless setups. So this one is a little bit manageable. There shouldn't be any drone or unbearable noise or anything like that. So I'm gonna go through the steps. It's pretty straightforward from what I read. It's just people take the bumper off or take the wheels off. I'm thinking about going the route of just taking the wheels off and see what I can do from there. So I'm going through this simply from a little experience. I did some research, but you never know. You always never know what's gonna happen when you go under there. So the exhaust is like on the sides of the car, so it's pretty dirty down here. Should be cleaning them, but it's on the sides of the rear wheel area right here. So, all right, I'll give you guys a quick sound clip and then we'll get to it. You guys a tip. You gotta use a lot of WD-40 because the screws back here are corroded, and since it's in the back of the car, it gets all like the moisture, the water, and the dirt and all that. So you're gonna have to be using a lot of these, or PB blaster or something like that. So just be patient with it. Don't try to force it because you're gonna break some screws if you do. So I'm trying to be careful right now. Quick tip for you guys with the muffler tip. It's not as this. It looks gross. The previous owner painted it. See the original surface is chrome or stainless. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get back into. Or if it's really bad, I'm probably just gonna repaint it properly, sand it and paint it. But back to the topic. So here's the muffler. So it just comes off. It's very straightforward. It just comes off like that. But what makes it hard is there's a shim here that kind of moves around while you're wiggling it. So it kind of stops it from sliding off. So just be mindful of that if you have one. Just look into the exhaust. Just use a lot of WD-40. It's a straightforward, like, just pull it out. It just, because of this shim here that moves around, it makes it difficult. So that's just a tip for you guys. I'm gonna go clean this up with soap and everything, make it as nice as I can make it. That's what I'm doing with the other one right there, and then we'll just keep going and see what we're back. These are the bolts that's holding the catalytic converter attached to the muffler. So you see how they all broke off, and that's to be expected. Look, you can see how corroded they are. So I'm just gonna buy replacements and replace them. There's I mean, I could save them by being extra careful, but that's just the condition of how they are right now. I think I'm just gonna replace them. I think it's just safe to do that. So just keep that in mind, and that's kind of a common thing, and it's replaceable. It's just bolts. So we are back. I had to take the rear wheel off because you get better access that way. This is the bumper support. I might have to take that off. Initially I was just removing the top bolt here, and there's like a nut down here, but there's actually a bracket right behind it right here that holds 3 bolt and nut, I guess, and then you can just remove that. You don't have to mess with this assembly here, and it will just pull right off, so just keep that in mind. So I'm trying to wiggle our way around the lack of access down here and see if we can just pull off the muffler how it sits right now. So this is the catalytic converter. You just pull it off from there and somehow angle it off this bumper, and you should be off, and that's it. We'll do that to the other side as well. You do have to remove the bumper support because it's hitting the muffler. It will give us access to pull it out from the rear fender well here. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. After the bumper support, we have access to just lower, basically the whole muffler just lowers down, very easy. And we're gonna remove the vacuum line to the valve of the muffler, and basically that's it. And we're gonna tuck that in somewhere around here, out of the way, because we don't need that anymore. Yeah, that's really nasty looking.
It's just rusted through.
Yeah, so all this, all your screws, they're gonna break off one by one, so just be careful. But you're gonna have to replace them because everything is corroded here. Depends on where your car came from. So for the new muffler, we're gonna remove this bracket and transfer it, because this is where the muffler is attached to. And it was easier to remove the muffler when you remove the whole bracket off of the frame of the car, instead of just removing the muffler from this bracket. So because of all the bolts that we broke, we had to go to Home Depot because all the dealership is closed today. So I just had to buy all these assorted bolts and pieces in here and see if I can make it work. But if not, then we'll just we'll tackle that as we go along. But so far these are all within the same measurements of what we broke, so we're gonna see if they all work, and if not, you guys will find out. Side pre-assembled with the bracket. Like I said earlier, you don't have to remove the exhaust from this bracket. You can just remove the whole bracket. There's 3 bolts there that you could access. It was a better route to do because we were trying to remove it from the muffler from the bracket, and that was harder. So just remove the whole bracket next time. So this goes to the cat, and this one is where the muffler tip goes. Alright, that's what the exhaust looks like. It's very plain.
Man.
Here's a view, the inside. So what I did with the vacuum hose is I just tucked it in to the bumper back here. If you can see that line, I just tucked it back there because there's nowhere else to put it. You plug it and then you just tuck it back to the bumper there. What's going on YouTube? So we're back. I did not install the muffler tips on the new exhaust because of the condition the muffler tips are in. As I mentioned before, they're in a really bad condition the way the previous owner repainted them. So it's like painting over crap. So it's still gonna show. It doesn't matter how many times you paint over it. It needs to be prepped and sanded and everything like that before you can paint. So because of the condition of the underside of the car, there's a lot of corrosion with the bolts and everything. I don't know. I think it's just my car, or it sounded common for other Porsches as well. But so I'm dealing with that problem right now. So there's even the bolts that hold the the muffler tip to the exhaust is corroded really badly. Let me just show it to you. So yeah, they look like look like crap right now, so hopefully that focuses right there. Yeah, so it's not, I think I'm thinking about replacing them, so I'm not gonna reinstall those bolts. I'm gonna refresh all the bolts that I can see, that I can get access to one by one. I'm just gonna replace them because it's like nasty. It's really nasty down there. So even the header was looking really bad, in really bad shape. It's all rusted over. I think it's like been driven on snow or something like that. So, but it's just how it is because I got the car out of state. I don't know what the previous owner did to it, so it's just something they gotta deal with. I've never had a car like that before. I had a 1991 RX-7. It's a Japanese car, and there's no corrosion whatsoever at all. There's no rust, and maybe it's been a California car ever since, but it's a 1991. All the things that could have happened to it, it still doesn't have any rust. And this one is 2007, so I don't know, quality. So anyway, so I don't want to waste this muffler tip because it's expensive, like I mentioned before. I'm thinking about trying my best to refurbish this, strip the paint that's on this, and either leave it stainless or repaint it again. So hopefully I'll include that in this video. If not, if I feel like uploading it as a separate video, I might. I'll just show you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna buy a paint stripper and see what I could do with that, and see how it reacts to that, and see what we're at. And I have to get those screws. So other than that, and then I'm gonna reattach it and see how it looks. There is still the problem of it being off-centered, because this is for a dual exhaust setup. So, and the one I have now is a single exit in the middle. So if I can angle the exit, it's adjustable. I can angle it a little bit. Maybe I can. We'll see what I can do. But if it's not perfect, if it's too off-centered and it's ugly, then of course I'm not gonna keep it. But I'm gonna try my best to save these, to use them, and I'll spend the extra 500 if I have to buy a new pair of muffler tips. But I'm gonna refinish this, of course, try to refurbish this. Maybe I can sell it. So that's the end goal. That's my mindset on this subject right now. So, all right. Hopefully I addressed this enough, because I keep coming back and forth to it, because I keep looking for solutions and ideas to restore these, and it's just I'm all over the place with it. So, all right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.